Hello friends, this is Manish Pandey. Welcome back to this GenAI learning video series. In the previous video, you saw how to build GenAI Chatbot. Now, in this video, we are going to learn something different, something interesting that we see in your project in your company while creating this GenAI use cases. Okay, what is that? So that is a virtual environment. Okay, you might have heard this word like virtual machine, virtual environment, like that. So this is like something similar to that, but that is for Python interpreter. That virtual machine is basically created a separate machine which has like all this functionality. Like we can have multiple applications installed there. That is separate from your system applications. So let's say in your company, you will have seen that your company has provided you one system, right? In your system, only your company related application installed or whatever like you want to learn that you have installed. Now you are using a virtual machine where you are working for your client or you are working on a project. So whatever applications, whatever dependency, whatever packages that you need for that client or for that project, you will only install in that virtual machine. Correct? Try to relate this. And you keep your own personal laptop, personal computer, which is given by your company. That's separate, right? And that is separate. Same works here for this virtual environment. Okay. So you see, I have created, I have installed Python here in my personal computer, in my machine. And whenever I need to uh, create any project, whenever I need any packages, whenever I need any library or like any dependency I need to install, I'm directly installing here. Like let's say I need to import Streamlit. So I have already installed that Streamlit and now I'm importing that, right? So that is installed along with my Python. So I have already installed that Python interpreter here in my system, and that is placed in one of the system folder. And now I'm installing Streamlit, I'm installing OpenAI, right? And whatever I need, I am installing there, right? Now if I need to create a project, right? Now I need to install multiple packages there, and I don't want to disturb my this personal project, this project or like this system. So what I can do, I can create a separate virtual environment. Means for each project, I can have a separate virtual environment, which will have its own, we can say Python interpreter. It will have its own packages, dependencies, whatever like you want to install there, you can do it, right? One other benefit is like, let's say you are installing any package and you want to maintain the two different versions. So you can have in one project you can have a different version installed. In another project might be you need some other version installed, requires requirement there, you can install there, right? You'll have noticed in many projects, you'll have seen that in that we are using 2.1. In the previous one of the project they are using 2.0.0. In one they are using 1.5.3, like that. So each project can have its own folder for the virtual. So virtual environment, you can understand like this is a separate environment, a separate folder. It's like a container which can have all these scripts, all these packages installed there, right? So it will not interfere with your own separate project. It will not interfere with your other projects, right? That project will have separate container, separate environment, and this will have a separate environment, right? Okay, so here in this video, I'll show you how to install that virtual environment, how to create that virtual environment project for your project, and how to activate that and how we can use that in your project. So I'll show you two ways to do that. I'll show you the simple as well. First, I'll show you with the command based. Second, I'll show you directly from Visual Studio code without writing any code. That is very, very simple. Okay. So here you see there's no separate folder for the virtual environment. This is just a folder, a simple folder where I'm keeping all my GenAI use cases, GenAI projects. Now let's say I have this GenAI chatbot PY. I want to use this. So what I am going to do, I am going to first install a virtual environment. So means that is a package. Let me show you one documentation where you see this is virtual env 21.3.3. So this current version is 21.3.3. First, we need to install this package. What is this package? This is virtual environment package, which will help you to install, which will help you to create a virtual environment, correct? So first, we need to copy this to the clipboard so that we can install there. Okay. So I'm going to use the same project where I want to install that package. Okay. I want to install that virtual environment package. I'll do one thing. I'll go to this three options, click on terminal and click on new terminal. Okay. Why I'm getting like three options? Because you see, I clicked on this zoom. And now if I set it like this way, so I'm getting this terminal option directly along with these menus. Okay. I'll click on this terminal, click on new terminal. Okay. Which will open the terminal, or I can press click on this toggle panel, or I can press Control J from my keyboard. This way, right? It will open a separate terminal. So there are three ways to open this terminal. Now I'll just paste that, the command, that is pip install virtual environment, right? So this is the same way that we are installing our OpenAI or Streamlit and those things. So I'll just press enter. Okay. Now it says that this has been successfully installed 21.3.3. Got it? It seems I saw some. Okay, I saw this one notification here which says that you may have installed Python packages in your global environment. Means now you see there's a global environment and this is a virtual environment, right? So it says that you have already installed a Python package in a global environment, which can cause conflicts between the package versions. Would you like to create a virtual environment with these packages to isolate your dependencies? So after that, I will say click create. So what will happen? It will follow the another way. I don't want to go with that. So I'm not going to install that way. I'll just skip that part. Now I have installed that package, the virtual environment package. Now I'm going to show you how to create a virtual environment now. So it will give me the virtual environment version which I have installed, right? So this is just to verify. Okay. Now what I'll do here, I will write a command to create a virtual environment, which you can see it here in this folder left side. So I'll write here virtual env, means the command is virtual env, that we have installed the package, right? So that is basically a tool that we are going to use, a virtual env, virtual environment, and then that virtual environment name that you want to take. So that can be anything. So I'll take here venv, or I can take like .venv, whatever, like that is the standard name that we use. So I'll go with the venv. I can take it like venv, or like I can take it like Pandey, anything, any project name that you want to take, you can give it a virtual environment name. So now I'll press enter. Now left side on the top, you see in the project folder, you see this venv is created here. Now, once you'll expand this, you see multiple folders here like include, lib, scripts, get ignore, catch directory.tag, pyvenv.cfg. Let's click on this and let's see what is this. Let me hide this. Let me do it like this way. Okay, I'll put it right side. Okay. So this is like .cfg, pyvenv. All this path is here. This is the virtual environment, you know, version. This is the Python version. Now if you click on this scripts, it has multiple things here which is required. It has activate.bat file, bat file, batch file means activate.ps1 file, deactivate.bat, then pip3.exe, python3.exe, all this exes, everything is available in the scripts. Now I will show you how to activate that. So we have installed that, we have created a virtual environment. Now we need to activate that so that we can use that. Currently, if I'll not activate that, so what will happen if I'll install any packages, anything, if I install, that will be installed to the global environment, means my personal system, right? And here you see, currently it shows that this is already installed. Streamlit already installed. OpenAI already installed. Why? Because currently it's that virtual environment is not activated. Once you activate that, so that will be a phrase, means it will not have any dependency, right? I'll have to install it separately in the virtual environment based on my project. Okay, so might be there is a separate project where you are not using OpenAI. There is a one project where you are not using a Streamlit, right? So in a separate projects we can install the dependencies. In one project I can install Streamlit. In other projects I can install OpenAI, right? So for now it is using because it is using global environment. And to use that virtual environment for this project, I need to activate it. And how can I activate that? For that, I need to use this activate.ps1 or like activate.bat. Let's try this. For that, I'll put here dot slash and then the folder name venv, that is my project, the virtual environment name. So dot slash venv, that's virtual environment name. Whatever you will put, you need to replace with that slash. Okay, so means like this is your project folder, like GenAI project. Inside that dot venv means this venv. Inside that there is a scripts, so I'll put here scripts. Inside that there is a activate.bat or activate.ps1. Let's try with activate only. I'll not put here .bat or .ps1. Let's see. So this is the command that I'm going to write here. Let's press enter. Now once I'll hit enter, you see it has taken here in the brackets venv, means now it is going to use my virtual environment here. So this is activated. If you want to deactivate that, you just need to write here deactivate. That will remove this virtual environment. Now if I need to install anything, if I need to install anything related to that project, I can install it here. Now you see I have installed that virtual environment and also activated that project, that environment, but still I'm not getting error. Means it says that it is already installed in that virtual environment. No. Why it's happening here? Because let me put it left side. Why it's happening here? If you click on this right side, this version number, that 3.14.2, if I'll click on that, it says that there are two interpreters here. One, 3.14.2 is the virtual environment. 3.14.2, which is installed in my local system here in this path, that is the global one. So currently it is using global one. Now I need to change that based on this project. So in this project I am using venv, so I need to change that to the recommended, that is my venv. And once I'll change that, you see it says that Streamlit could not be resolved, means that is missing, report missing. OpenAI, that is missing. Correct, means these are not installed in that virtual environment. Okay, and here once you change that, you see venv. So whenever you see in the bracket and then the interpreter version name, then you can understand that this project is using virtual environment. Got it? Here also you can see. Now I need to install, I need to use that the same pip. I'll move this here. I'll use this pip here to install that OpenAI and Streamlit. So pip install OpenAI. Okay, and now it is using venv to install that packages. Okay, so once that package is installed, I will not get any error or like related to the OpenAI. Got it? Now you see for OpenAI that error is gone. Now again I need to install the other package. What is that? That is Streamlit package. So I'll write here pip install Streamlit. Okay, so this is another package that I'm going to install. And once this Streamlit is installed in this virtual environment, I can easily access this Streamlit functionalities, and I'll not be getting any error related to the Streamlit. Okay, so now you see here OpenAI and the Streamlit package, both packages have been installed successfully in my virtual environment. Okay, now I'll show you that. Let's refresh this. Okay, let it complete first. It's 32, 38, like so. Still 6 items pending to install here. There's still 1. At the end, it's going to install the Streamlit here. Okay, now you see this has been installed successfully. And now let's refresh this. So in this lib means this is library where like we see all the packages that is installed in this virtual environment that you can see it from here. So if you'll expand this, you can search here that Streamlit. So you can see Streamlit is here that we have already installed. Now search for OpenAI. So see OpenAI is installed here, correct? Okay, now I'll show you how to run this. So I'll just go to this terminal, and here I need to write Streamlit run and then file name. So I want to run this GenAI underscore chatbot.py, which will open a browser. And here you can see it is running fine with the different environment, with the virtual environment. Got it. This is working fine. Now from here, I'll press Control C, which will stop this. Okay, and this shows that it is running in the virtual environment and it is using all these packages, the dependency that I have installed in the virtual environment. Now, if I'll uninstall those packages like Streamlit and OpenAI from my global environment, means from my that system, then it will not impact this virtual environment. Okay, now I'll show you another option, the simple option to create a virtual environment. Okay, for that, what I'll do, I'll go to this open folder. In the here, I'll create a virtual environment folder, venv folder. Okay, and now I'll select this folder. And now here I'll create a separate environment. Okay, so there is a different folder where I'm going to create a different environment, different container, different virtual environment. And this time I'll show you the simple way to create that environment, virtual environment. Let's first create one file. I'll say main.py. This is the Python file. Now just go right side, and here you see this Python version is selected, because once we create a folder and then a Python file, here you see the Python interpreter, so that we can run that. We can use that to run this, this file, Python file. So either you can click on this or you can click on this one, any of these, which will open that folder. Now click on this. Now you see we are getting this option to create a virtual environment, right? So as I told you, you can either go here and click on show and run command and write Python colon create virtual environment, create environment, and then here you need to click on create venv, creates a .venv virtual environment in the current workspace. So this is the current workspace, that is venv folder, that is the current workspace, current folder. So once you click on this, it will create a virtual environment with the name .venv, right? So either you go with this way or you can click on this and click on create virtual environment and select this. Once you select this, so it says that which interpreter that you want to use to create the virtual environment. So you might have a different interpreter version, the Python version that you can select here. So I'm going to use this one, and now it's going to create a virtual environment here with the name .venv, and it says that the following environment is selected. Now let's move it right side. Now let's click on this toggle panel, and here you see it is still using the global environment. Sorry, this is already activated. Once we'll select the terminal, it is already selected here. You see .venv means that is virtual environment, and this is the your current folder name. From here also you can verify it is using your recommended, that is the virtual environment folder here, right? These both options shows that that you are using virtual environment for this folder, for this current workspace, and you can start. So this is already activated. No need to activate, no need to write any command to activate this. Once you will create a virtual environment by following that commands, following that options, and just open a terminal, a new terminal, by clicking on terminal, new terminal, or you can click on this, or you press Control J, which will open a terminal, and then it will automatically select that workspace, for the virtual environment. Or might be you will get a notification here which will ask you to click or yes if you want to choose that current workspace as a virtual environment. So you can do this way and you can start creating that. If you want to delete that, so first you have to deactivate this. So I'll type here deactivate, and now you see here once I deactivate this venv, this option is gone, right? Now you can right click on this and you can delete this. Might be you have changed your mind, you want to rename this with some other different name, or you want to do something else, you want to create press environment, so you click on this and click delete, which will delete this. Move to recycle bin, which will delete that folder. Now virtual environment has been deleted. Okay, so you learned two things here, two ways to create this environment and activate that environment, virtual environment, right? First using the command line in the for the Windows, and second using the options given in the Visual Studio Code. I hope this is useful, and if you learn something new from here, then please like this video, and if you have not subscribed this channel, then please subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon so that you will get my videos notification at the first. Thank you so much for watching this video.